let's do three, two, one, go. All right.
Okay. You gonna
Ready?
say it?
Oh, I think we should say it together.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Ready? Three,
Three,
two,
two, one,
one,
go.
go. Hi, I'm Reba,
And I'm Katie, and this is What About Bob's?
a podcast about friendship first,
Then movies.
and if we're lucky, a Bob on top. This is our pilot episode for What About Bob's?
If we get picked up.
Yes. I feel like we should probably do like an introduction for like why we're doing this. And just like talk about like what inspired us to make this podcast. Because I think it's cool. It's like a fun backstory. You and I used to live together and we used to like share movies with each other. We would watch movies together when we were roommates. And then I eventually moved to California. You were still in Salt Lake City. We were in different places. We were in different time zones. And one of the ways we like kept in touch was we started watching movies together. I don't remember exactly why.
Heart wants what it wants.
The-
We just felt the pull.
We just like had to keep connected somehow. And so you and I started watching movies where we just FaceTime each other from our homes, and then we would start a movie at the same time and watch it together. We tried doing like the like watching in the same
The
like
software, yeah, it never worked. We could never get it to work, which resulted in the now famous three, two,
three,
one, go.
3, 2, 1, go. And then I always do this because this is me pressing my Apple TV remote to start my movie, and we'll watch movies together that way. And we've been pretty consistent. We almost do it every week or so.
Mhm.
And then we have a system. We do like a triple feature.
Mhm.
So we'll start with a movie, and then after we watch that, part of our system is then deciding on a theme. So we'll watch a first movie, and then we'll decide on a theme, and then the next person will choose a movie from there, and then we'll choose a movie from there. So we'll have 3 movies within a theme, and then once we're done with those 3 movies, we just like, okay, what's the mood next, and we switch.
I'm trying to pull up some of our past themes.
Yeah, pull up some of our past themes. I think that's a
Um,
good idea.
And sometimes they go longer than 3.
That's
If it
true.
feels like we need to flesh things out a little more.
Yeah, if we want to
Uh,
continue the theme, that's true.
let's see. I think our first like official theme was Boys to Men to Music,
What
which
movies did
started
we
with
watch?
High Fidelity, which I think sometimes they're movies that neither of us has seen that we're like, we should have seen this. We should see this. This is a movie everyone has seen.
Yeah,
And then sometimes it's a movie one of us has seen that we're like, you really
you've
need to
got
see
to
this
see this.
movie. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's usually me forcing you to watch a movie
No.
that I love so much. However, um, I feel like the theme Little Women is where you really came to shine.
I,
The theme Little Women encapsulated Little Women from 1994, Little Women from 2019, and then The Secret Garden from 1993, which is my Little Women.
which is
Um,
your Little Women. Because my Little Women is Little
is
Women
Little
from
Women.
1994. And it deep in my soul.
Yeah,
And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. That was really sweet. I loved that Little Women theme last year.
it was
Because it
sweet.
was so fun. Because I had seen Secret Garden, but it had been a long time.
Oh God.
Two magical movies.
2 very magical, well, 3 very magical
3
movies.
very magical movies. Yes.
So let me just run through some of these themes so far. We've got upper echelon teen decadence, Boys to Men to Music, Girl, Where Are Your Friends? That was, I think, a favorite.
That was
Uh, Girl
I
Who
think
Just Needs Friends.
most of our movies could fit under the category of girl, where are your friends?
Girl, Where Are Your Friends? I have, let me put a pin in that because I have a theory of like most of our movies fit into these categories. But real quick, the other ones are Dreamgirls. That was a heartbreaker. Brat, and it's the same, but the boys are having an existential crisis, so it's not. That was a great summer one, Brat Summer. Classes in Session, Gay Witches. That was fun for
Hmm.
Halloween time. Then we had Little Women for Christmas. Also around Christmas, we had Eat, Pray, Love, Die Hard. Um, that was the Pink Panther from 1963, Charade, and Die Hard. Really great.
Obviously.
Obviously. Let's do the Time Warp again and hug. Girls versus the World. I've got friends in liminal spaces. Inappropriate workplace relationships was another banger. Till Death Do Us Part. And then our most recent finished series, Mommy? Sorry, Mommy? So yeah, we watch one film, then we discuss. I think it's so one of us picks the first film, the second person picks the second film, and then we discuss how those fit
Yes.
together and what the theme is. And then together we pick the third film.
The third film. Yes, that's exactly it. So I have our little system, and we've been loving it. So that being said, earlier this year, we've been doing this. We've been doing this for a couple of years now on our own. And then this year you said, I want to do a project this year. We should do a project together. So then we kind of just were like, well, maybe a podcast that could make sense because we've always joked about like, what if we were doing a podcast? What
It
if
did
this is the
become a joke.
podcast?
It did become a joke at some point that we started referring to this as the podcast when it
Yes.
was just you and I. And so yeah, we we would while just on FaceTime refer to like the fans and the chat and
Yeah.
the Patreon and the
Yeah. We,
Discord.
our hobby was that we pretended we were doing a podcast. Yeah, so then it was like, well, I guess if we're going to do a project, we're already consuming this media and having, like interesting conversations around it. Because I feel like we'll watch a movie and then we'll like chat about it a little bit right after and then text each other even throughout the
Mhm.
week, like when we're still thinking about it. And so doing a podcast just feels very natural, I
So
guess.
natural.
And also just using something we already enjoy doing and then basically just like making an excuse to talk more about
Hmm.
these movies.
We do keep track on our Letterboxd.
Hmm.
Oh, that's another important
That's another part of the system.
mention is the system we go in and rate in a shared iPhone note in emojis that we select.
Yes. We
We-
each rank the movies with specific emojis that we choose. And
and
then
these show up on the Letterboxd as well.
yes, we recently started a letterbox to move our reviews there. Yeah, I'll put the link to the letterbox in the description. Yeah.
And then in terms of Bob's, I feel like we found ourselves really drawn to movies with Bobs and the pull that they have and the way that they convince us every time we see them. I need to get a Bob. And I feel like the first one for me was Challengers. I was like, I need to get a Bob. And then
Challenge.
I talked myself back down.
Yeah.
I need a Bob.
Well, yes, of course. Every movie that has a good Bob, we go, so should we just go? Should we have? I think I need a Bob.
Mhm.
But we do talk ourselves away from it every single movie. As you see, Katie's hair has gotten so long.
Not in the Bob currently.
Yeah.
But
Mine, yeah, we're working on it. We're working on length, and so it would be a real shame to yeah, cut a bob just because.
throw it all away.
I think also you don't realize until you start like looking for them how often bobs are so quintessential to a good film
They're
or like
so
an iconic
powerful.
movie,
Mm-hmm.
an iconic character. Like so many of them have bobs.
We've got Past Lives, an iconic Bob. That was a crazy Bob.
Oh, great
Challengers,
bob.
iconic Bob. Uptown Girls, Dakota Fanning.
So
That
many
was
good
an iconic
bobs.
Bob. So many good Bobs. Sometimes you get a long Bob, Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
We had a long Bob,
you got a long bob.
which I'll also take a long Bob any day.
Some 80s movies or 70s movies have like um questionable bobs. Like, is it a bob?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've used the term bob fluid for some of these.
Yes. Basic Instinct for sure had a
Yeah,
Bob Fluid Bob,
a bob fluid bob.
which, yeah. Oh, Basic Instinct also is I think, one of our touchstones
Yeah,
of cinema.
challengers, Basic Instinct. There's gonna be a few.
Oh, so here's my theory that I thought of the other day.
Hmm.
So I think all movies are either Challengers, Basic Instinct, or Little Women. I think everything can fit into those
Oh my
categories.
gosh.
But I think today's film is Challengers.
Today's film is challengers. I think we'll get into that as like we go through the movie. But if we're going with your theory, which I actually definitely agree with, today's film is challengers.
Mhm.
That being said, though, do you want to actually introduce the real
Our
film for
film?
today?
Yeah. This is starting off a new series, which has yet to be themed.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought it sounded fun for a summer movie. I think slashers can kind of be summer movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so this time we picked a movie that we had both seen, but is a tried and true fave of the pod. We picked Scream from 1996. This was directed by Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson, who also wrote, per IMDb, it looks like this is the first writing credit he has on IMDb, which is crazy to me because this is a flawless screenplay. But he also wrote Scream 1 and 2. Doesn't have writing credits on the rest of the Scream franchise, but just has the like characters created by Kevin Williamson.
Mm.
Also, Kevin Williamson went on to create, I just learned this, Dawson's Creek.
What?
So the man the man is multifaceted.
Is has range? Yeah.
He has
Wow.
range. He contains multitudes, as they
Wow.
say. So Scream, I'll just run through real quick, like why I wanted to pick this movie. Um, this is such a like pivotal point in the 90s. Before this, slashers were not cool. Slashers were super 80s and were kind of out. We had Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. They were like very retro and not like sexy new millennium until Scream in 1996. And
Hmm.
then after Scream, post Scream, PS, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer. We have Urban Legend. We have The Faculty, a Halloween reboot. We have just so many horror movies that come post Scream. And I think Scream just kind of reinvigorated young people to slasher movies. It's also just really smart, which is what I love so much about it. It's super self-referential, which is always very fun to me. It references a lot of other horror movies, either outright or in kind of callbacks, which I famously love to get references. So I love I love when I'm like, "Oh, did you see that shot? That's from Halloween." Love that corny stuff. And this movie is like wall-to-wall references, wall-to-wall other media callbacks. So real quick, this movie is about Sydney Prescott. She lives in Woodsboro, which appears by all accounts to be in wine country, as far as anyone can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Has like wine country
Where
vibes.
is this? It's like
It's
it feels kind of East Coast, but I think it's California.
it's
Is that right?
California. It's like a made up. It's like a
Yeah.
yeah, a made up town in California.
So Sydney Prescott is played by Neve Campbell. Her best friend is Tatum, who's Rose McGowan, who we just saw her in Jawbreaker.
We
She
just
is
mhm.
amazing. She's brilliant. So Sydney's mother has been murdered the year prior. She was brutally raped and murdered. And per um, Sydney's testimony, she got somebody put in jail for it, whose name is Cotton Weary. We'll get to him later. But now, almost a year to the day after that, um, two of her classmates have been brutally gutted and murdered. And is it the same killer? Is it a different killer? She's being terrorized, and then Sydney and her friends are kind of over the next, what is it, 48 hours,
Mm-hmm.
being brutally terrorized by the ghost face killer.
That's the summary. But what about Bob's?
I'm so glad you asked. There is a killer, pun intended, Bob, in the cold open of this movie that is so iconic that even if you haven't seen the movie, you know the Bob.
You know the Bob.
And this Bob belongs to Casey Becker, played by Drew Barrymore, in, like I said, one of the most iconic cold opens of a horror movie. And this fun fact was also a total bait and switch. This was kind of their Psycho moment. They marketed this movie as starring Drew Barrymore, and everybody thought this was going to be a Drew Barrymore movie. So when they saw her in the opening scene, they were like, there's no way. There's no way she's going to die. She's going to
There's
get
no
out of
way.
this scot-free. And let me tell you, she does not.
She does not. She doesn't make it through. But like, think of how iconic, because it's 1996. It's like Drew Barrymore. So you're like,
This is peak Drew.
peak Drew. You're ready. You're so excited to see this movie with her. She's in all the marketing. Like, incredible.
Peak Drew. And Drew apparently went to the wig department for Scream and she wanted Michelle Pfeiffer's hair from Scarface, which is this elegant platinum bob.
Yeah.
As seen here.
As
Just like
seen
this
here.
exact one. So we open with landline ringing, which already just take me
Already.
back.
I feel like as we were watching it, you mentioned like, don't you ever just want to like have a phone call on a landline
Just to hold it.
just to hold it, the whole thing,
so
and be
good.
like tethered to
To
something.
be tethered, to be spinning around while the cord wraps around your whole body.
Yeah. Is it corded or no?
No,
She's
hers
walking
is
around
not
her
corded.
kitchen, so she's
You're
not
right.
technically tethered. But she's walking around her kitchen. She's on the phone. Creepy voice on the other line. Man's voice, like masculine voice.
Masculine, and I think so far it's supposed to be, I mean, it's hard to watch now because we know, but I think when it first starts, it's supposed to be like sexy, kind of. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you up to? And she's not scared at first.
She's not scared. She's
She's
like,
shaking her popcorn over the stove. She's not scared at all. He asks her what her favorite scary movie is, and she rattles off a few. She's a fan. She's a horror fan. And he starts to get a little weird, as they always do.
as they always do, those unknown callers.
She tells him she's a boyfriend. She doesn't want to talk to him anymore. No, before that, he says that he wants to know her name because he wants to know who he's looking at, and that is where it takes a turn. She then decides to lock all the doors, which heretofore have been unlocked.
Which the house, by the way, I had a note in here that is the scariness of backyards.
Oh my God.
I think that like, and we've seen the trope. There's like other movies that like deploy this like trope of like the backyard, looking in the backyard, but they're genuinely scary because you don't know, you cannot see at night everything that's happening in your backyard.
Oh yeah, and especially you have lights on in the house, you can only see your own reflection, which that's like one of the most iconic stills from the movie is like her screaming, her reflection, and you can see Ghostface on the other side of the window. But yeah, this house is like wall to wall glass, it seems. She
Yeah.
lives in a house of glass. Things start getting smashed. He comes in, she's running around.
But before this, is that when it's revealed that because she threatens like my boyfriend's coming over, and he calls her
He's
bluff.
big and he plays football.
Yes.
And he'll kick the shit out of you. And what is his name? I don't remember.
I don't remember his name, but he's big and yeah, he's
But
big
he's
and plays
big and he plays
football.
and
But of
he's
course he
tied
does,
up.
because look at that Bob. Of course that's
Of
her boyfriend.
course, she could
Yeah.
have any man that she wanted. And he's tied up. He's tied up to a pool chair outside, but he is wearing a Letterman jacket. So he is hot, presumably,
And
um,
plays football,
and plays football
presumably.
and probably big. She outruns Ghostface for a while, and then he gets her. He gets her when you think she's gonna get away. She's running towards her mom and dad, who are home from date night or wherever. They don't see her. She's running, she's taken off. He comes up behind her in slow motion, stabs her.
Stabs her. And then I think the landline, the phone, she's has it with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because part of the detail is that she's home alone, but her parents come shortly after, but not soon enough. Because
Mm-hmm.
as she's being dragged, as she's being murdered, her parents come in the house, wonder where she's at. She was making popcorn, it's on fire. And am I right? They like hear her.
Yeah, so here's another fun little, like, annoying movie nerd piece of trivia. The dad tells the mom she's flipping out. The house is full of smoke from her popcorn. They cannot find Casey. The dad yells at the mom to go to the Mackenzies,
Mm,
which is like pulled exactly from the beginning of Halloween. The dad telling the mom to go to the Mackenzies when they find the daughter dead. So that's very fun. Um,
yeah,
but
definitely.
then I think something happens to where they're like, no, something is more wrong. She goes to call the police, and she can hear Casey kind of gasping for breath on the other end.
Yeah, because
Oh,
she's still on the other line. Uh,
heartbreaking. It's like a kind of a brutal
it's
open for
very
like a teen
brutal.
summer
Yeah,
slasher. It's
incredibly brutal.
heartbreaking. So they go outside. They find Casey hung up from a tree with her guts on the outside. She screams. Smash cut to scream, and we're in.
And we're in. Iconic.
I
Drew Barrymore,
iconic.
gone.
Drew
Bob,
Barrymore dead, gone.
gone. So good. It's such a good opening. It's like it's incredible. Okay. We've introduced this killer, the ghost face killer. Casey goes to the same high school as our now main protagonist, Sydney. So, right, so that's how they get all connected. I think.
Right after this intro, do we cut to Sydney's bedroom
I think so. That's when
that
we get to
night?
Sydney's bedroom.
So
And
it's
it's
the
like,
same night. Sydney is in
mm-hmm,
her bedroom. And then we get kind of
that's
like
right.
a spooky,
Right.
I don't know if it's a jump scare, but someone is at her window and it is Billy Loomis, which Loomis is also a nerdy little callback to Halloween.
Hmm.
Loomis is, I think, the name of the like psychiatrist
Oh,
that's
I didn't know that.
tracking down Michael Myers the whole time. Um, but we get our Skeet Ulrich in the bedroom window looking a little creepy, but I feel like more fine than creepy.
Yeah, yeah. He's like has that like yeah, the Johnny Depp high
Yes,
schooler
very Johnny Depp. Yeah.
aesthetic. And so it's like creepy because it's like startling jump scare because I do think it's like the shock of somebody at your window.
Yes.
But then it's like, oh, that's her boyfriend.
Right.
Okay.
Which is also so fun because I feel like these movies kind of, and there is, what are there now? I think they're making the seventh one now. But part of what's fun about these movies is they like set up scares and then they set up like where you think there's going to be a scare and then they don't give you one, which I think is also a really
Hmm.
fun kind of equation for like keeping you on the edge of your seat. And it just feels like, again, like these all feel so summer thrillery to me. They don't
Yes.
feel like,
Yes.
like an Ari Aster, like fuck you up. So I feel like you get that in Sydney's bedroom. You get Billy popping into her window, and it's like you've just seen Drew Barrymore's murder, you're like kind of on edge, and then he pops in and just comes in and it's like just her boyfriend. And so I think that's kind of setting the tone for how these movies play with like suspense and expectation and all of that. I feel
Yeah.
like that's super fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. That I think that's the thing with this movie. It's like it is so fun
It's just fun.
the whole time. It's just fun.
It's just good,
It's
clean
just
fun.
But yeah, so we meet now we're introduced to Billy, so we're starting to like get all of our characters. And then they have like in dialogue where you start to learn more about like, okay, this is like we're coming on the anniversary of her mother's
Hmm.
death. She's
Hmm.
dealing with that, and her dad's leaving town,
Going to a
right?
conference or something.
Going to a conference, of course, yeah. And so it's setting her up for she's going to be alone this coming weekend, and it's Halloween. Is it Halloween weekend? Why do I think that? That might not be true.
I don't think it's Halloween, but it is definitely the anniversary of her
Yes,
mother's
it's the
death.
anniversary
So
of her
one
mother's
year,
death.
which he thinks he needs to be gone for, which I think is interesting.
It's interesting that her dad's leaving.
Right. And he's going to be at the airport Hilton, like, you know where to
Yes.
find me.
So then there's also like Billy's kind of like makes comments about her like their intimacy and
Sure.
wants a more
Billy?
rated R
Oh,
relationship,
sure.
but she
Oh,
asks if
oh, yeah.
maybe
Billy starts with, I was watching The Exorcist on TV and it made me think of you, which crazy thing to say to your
crazy thing to
girlfriend.
say.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, it was edited for TV and it made me think of our relationship because ever since your mom was brutally raped and murdered, you have not wanted to have sex with me." And Billy thinks that's bullshit. Which is crazy. Which is
Which is
crazy.
crazy. Jumping ahead, but like this is the thought I was having early on in the movie between that comment of like ever since your mom this traumatic terrible thing happened to your family
Hmm.
that you're dealing with, ever since that happened you haven't wanted to like be as intimate with me, and like rude on your part, like
First of all, rude.
sucks for me. Can you imagine what that does to me? And then so that she's dealing with that. She also like is dealing with like the next day. I think she then sees Gail Weathers, right?
Gail
Is the name
Weathers.
of our journalist reporter, Gail Weathers. She comes up. They have an interaction where you learn that like Sydney testified about Cotton. What's his name?
Hot and weary.
Cotton Weary, basically condemning him like because of her testimony. She was like instrumental in his conviction. Gail Weathers is like writing a book because she thinks he's been falsely accused. So she has mother brutally raped and murdered. That then her conscience is like being tested about like, did I send the wrong guy? Am I instrumental in
Hmm.
sending the wrong guy to prison?
Hmm.
All of these things are so traumatic. A boyfriend not understanding her emotional state, not being sympathetic to that. And so I remember as I was watching the movie, I think I made the comment, had this movie not had the same tone, the tone that it did, how the tone was executed, the meta-ness of we are in a scary movie.
Right.
Like
This
off the
is a
bat,
nightmare situation.
we live in a scary movie. Like had those things not been established or executed well, this would have been such a different film. Like
Mhm.
traumatizing. It would be an Ari
It's so
Aster
dark.
film. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it could, or maybe not, but like it would have this totally different
Totally.
vibe to it.
No,
Anyway,
it's so, no, you're so right. And I feel like that too is what's fun, is I know that I mentioned this while we were watching it too, but like I feel like I don't know that this was written by Kevin Williamson as like a piece of many, or just like a part of a universe, but as a standalone movie, there are so many bits and pieces and nuggets of like this could be expanded, this could be expanded, this could be expanded that they don't expand in this movie, that I'm like they had to know that they would go on to make seven of these, because in the first movie you get that the man that she put away for her mother's murder is named Cotton Weary, which is a crazy name for a throwaway character that you
Hmm.
only see on TV in her house being put into a cop car from trial. You don't even see him in the real movie, you just see him on TV, played by Liev Schreiber, who I believe was famous at this time. And you never see him again in that movie. You
Yes,
see him in later
yes.
movies, but like it's so crazy. And like I feel like all of her family and like or all of her friends, and you have her best friend is Tatum, played by Rose McGowan, and Tatum's brother is Dewey, who's like the sheriff, like the
Hmm.
deputy sheriff. And he plays a pretty big role in this movie, but like goes on to be such a big part of so many of the other movies. And then you have a continuation of her friend, what is his name? What is Kennedy's character's name?
Oof. The one that works at the video store
Yeah,
and is super, he's the one that's kind of like dropping all of the like
yeah.
trivia, the trope
Um,
information about horror films.
Randy. So
Randy.
yeah, you have Randy, who's super into movies, and Randy is. I also said this when we watched it. I fear I am a Randy, which is so annoying.
No.
Born to be a Tatum, forced to be a Randy. I am the Randy because Randy is the one that works at the video store, which I worked at a video store when I was 19, and he is calling out like this is just like this movie. In this movie, this plays out this way, but in this movie, it plays out this way. And like uh virgins don't die. That's like the final girl trope. So if you have sex, then you're on the chopping block. And so he's like calling out all these things, and he goes on to like keep playing that role and like laying out pieces for later
Yes.
movies, which
Yes.
is super fun. Yeah, just the dynamic between all of her friends. And then we have Billy, who's her boyfriend, and then Billy's best friend and Tatum's boyfriend, who is Stu Macher, played by, oh my God, what is his name? Why can't I think? Matthew Lillard,
Matthew
which
Lillard.
is maybe his hottest role, I think. How do you feel
Mm.
about Matthew Lillard in this role?
I think,
Or are you
yeah.
more into Skeet Ulrich?
I'm more into Skeet Ulrich. I
And
can't not think of Matthew Lillard. He's
oh, is he Shaggy from Scooby-Doo to
yes.
you?
I
I get that.
yeah. I think
That's a
that
generational thing.
I do like that is like how I see him. However, obviously when the reveal happens, I'm like watching them being like, no, no, they are so believably
Oh yeah,
psychotic, both of
psychotic.
them. Like I feel like yeah, it's on me that I see Shaggy up until the very end. Yeah. And then
And
the
Billy and
switch.
Stu are best friends and have this like I don't think it's just me projecting. I feel like it's kind of a weird, sexy relationship, which is what makes this movie Challengers.
Challengers. Yep, it's
Because we
Sydney
have the
between the two of
tension,
them. Yep.
the tension between the two with the girl, Sydney, as the apex. This
Mm-hmm.
is this is driving the whole thing. And it's very sexy.
Especially, yeah, like there is like an erotic tension between
For
them.
sure.
Yeah, I think that's definitely there, especially at the end.
Are we trying to have the reveal of who it is, or are we not revealing?
Oh no, I think we can talk about it. Spoiler alert: Stu and Billy.
There's two killers.
There's two
There's
killers.
two ghost faces. I don't know if they're trading off, um, if there are two masks and two cloaks, or if they're trading off. I don't know if they're ever two ghost faces
That's a good
at
point.
once.
The logistics are not explained.
But I think they work. I think it's like when Ghostface is somewhere killing, like one of them is somewhere else
Is
accounted
somewhere
for and the other
else.
is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first kill of Drew Barrymore and her jock boyfriend is that's when we see Billy going into Sydney's window. So presumably that is Stu, which is also referenced later when the students learn at school what happened to Casey. Um, Somebody says to Stu, like, didn't you used to date her? And he's like, yeah, like, what are you insinuating? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I dumped her for Rose McGowan. So
Yeah.
maybe there's some beef there. That
Yeah. Some motive,
a little bit of motive.
which obviously motive gets called into question as well. But we can get like to the end later. But yeah, it's interesting watching it knowing that they're the killers. Like the first time, like that's so fun. Like
Hmm.
not knowing because the movie does set up some red herrings, right? Like
For
the
a
dad's
1,000%. Yeah.
gone and at some point they try to get a hold of him where he said he would be at the airport
At the
hotel.
airport, Hilton.
Yeah, the airport Hilton. He's not there. There's a little bit of like, who could it be?
Hmm.
And so they do kind of set you up to not know.
And also, yeah, in the video store, so the uh, Woodsboro imposes a curfew. They let all the students out of school um, not after the first murder, oddly, but after I think Sydney gets attacked by Ghostface the next afternoon.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Then it's serious.
and now it's serious. Okay. Now let's lock things down. So everybody goes to the video store, which is so cute. I love that like the whole town is there because they're all under curfew and there's nothing else to do. Um, and that's where Stu is kind of running his mouth or Randy is running his mouth to Stu, saying, I think it's Billy, because it seems
Yes.
like Randy might have a bit of a crush on Sydney. And he's like, it seems like it's Billy because XYZ, and then all of a sudden Billy is behind him and heard him saying all of this. Oh, his theory is because he's like in the slasher section of the video store.
Yeah.
And he's like, all of this going on, he's in the slasher section. That's a bad look. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be doing that if I were him. And then Billy is behind him and he's like, I think it's you. And Billy is like, absolutely, you should think it's me. If this was a movie, like, I would definitely be the prime suspect because I work in a movie store and I'm like obsessed with all these horror movies. Like, you're right to think that it's me, which I also think is fun of Randy to like lay out all the pieces like that.
Yes.
He's just this like objective, omniscient kind of like game maker of
Hmm.
like, no, here's what it looks like. Which also comes into play at the house party that Stu hosts
Hmm.
later, I think the next night,
Hmm.
maybe that night. And a few people come over to Stu's massive house, massive Victorian house. It's so cool.
All the houses are incredible. They're
They're all
just,
huge. They all have huge wraparound decks
yeah.
and like no neighbors. It's wine country. It's
Yeah.
spectacular.
It's spectacular. They're
Um,
living the American dream.
they're living the dream. There's
American
no
California
parents
dream.
anywhere. No parents are
There's
home.
never parents. There's absolutely no parents. Yeah.
None to be seen. But they're watching at Stu's house. They are watching Halloween on the TV in the living room, just kind of on while they're partying. And once a couple people get drunk and like leave the room, um, Randy is kind of describing to the people that are left, like, here's the rules of scary movies.
Hmm.
You guys don't know the
You
rules? Like,
guys
here's
don't
the
know. Hmm.
rules. And that I feel like is the most fun part of the movie to me because he's saying, yeah, like, final girl is always a virgin, so you can't have sex. Otherwise, you're going to be, like I said, on the chopping block. But also, like, here's the rules. Like, you can never say, I'll be right back. Otherwise, you won't be right back. You'll be dead. And as he's saying this, Stu is getting up and he's like, I'm gonna go get a beer. Does anybody want anything? And he's like, I'll be right back. Like
Right.
he's not scared. Um, and in the meantime, poor Tatum, is in the garage
This is
having a hell of a time.
having a terrible time. This is one of the scenes that I remember, like, not remembering exactly how the plot went along. I have not forgotten the garage scene, which with Tatum,
Oh, she's in the cutest little sweater.
she's getting beers, right, for
Just getting
everybody.
beers from the garage fridge. That's
From
how
the
you know they
garage
have
fridge.
money.
This house has a garage fridge full of beer, no parents. Killer loose, but we are having a fun time
Having
in
a hell of a
at this
time.
party.
Yeah. She turns around, or no, I think, no, she goes to leave. The door is locked.
She
to
goes
the
back to
garage.
the
She's
house. The
like
door is
banging on
still
the
locked.
door. She's like, guys, you locked me in the garage. She hits the garage door opener, so it starts to go up. She
Mhm.
goes to leave out the garage door, and it stops and starts to go back down. And she turns around, and there's Ghostface by the door, by the hand on the
Yes.
garage door
Yes.
opener. This is also silly.
Yes.
He's silly. He
He's
does physical comedy a
hmm
lot of the time.
Ghostface is a physical comedian. Yes.
There's a lot of like head over heels falling, flailing
Yes.
in the gown.
But is this the scene? This is also the scene where we get the iconic sound bite, right?
Yes, the
That is,
TikTok viral.
yeah, trended recently.
Please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. Yes, trending audio. And she's so great.
She's so good. She delivers the line so good. But this is like she doesn't believe.
No, she
For
thinks it's
these kids are
Randy.
not freaking out about.
Nobody's freaking out. It
Nobody's
takes
freaking
so
out.
much to make them freak out.
Yeah. So she thinks this is presumably their friend,
She thinks this is Randy from the
Randy,
video store. Yeah.
in a costume.
Yeah. And she even says, you better get out of that before Sydney sees you because she's going to freak out if she
Because
sees
she's gonna
you in
freak
that.
out. You're being the concern here is not this is the murderer. The concern
No,
is you're
this
being
couldn't
irreverent and
possibly, this
irresponsible
couldn't
in this
possibly be the
scenario.
real killer
Yeah.
who has killed two of my classmates and shown up at Sydney's house, I think, at this point.
Yes.
But no,
She's yeah.
this
No.
isn't the real killer.
You're, the issue is your insensitivity right
You're
now.
being really insensitive.
Which yes, then
Yeah, tell us why this stuck with you.
I
The
don't
trauma.
know. I think it's just like again, I had a garage growing up,
Mm.
and I think you think the fear, you think the scary part about the garage is the,
Is it smashing you?
is it smashing you from below. We had a sensor because our cat I think maybe they all have sensors. We did have a sensor that would work accurately because our cat had a tendency to
Oh.
race under the garage door as
You
it
had to
was
like
closing.
jump over it, but also duck under as it's closing. That's what we always used to have to do.
Oh.
You know, when you're like closing the garage and then leaving through the
And then
garage
you're
door,
leaving it. Yeah.
and you have
Yes.
to run out before it closes, and you have to jump over the sensor, but also duck under
Yes.
the
Yes.
door.
You can't trigger the sensor, but you also can't get smashed.
Dive out.
Yes. It's quite it's quite adrenaline inducing. But do you think that's the scary part? But no, she gets crunched up
She's trying to
inside
get out through a doggy door.
through a doggy door because she can't get out otherwise. She gets stuck in the doggy door
It's the
and
hips,
is
man.
lifted up with the garage. I'm not doing the visual correctly. Gets lifted
Like
up
this.
with it crushed.
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 Mangled. This is the most, well, I feel like Drew Barrymore's kill is pretty brutal, but you don't see it happen.
Yeah.
But this one you see happen, and it goes up in her body.
And then we keep getting different angles of it. So I think it's like a visual that like is very
Mhm.
sticks with you because
Yeah.
like people run out of the house and they see her.
Oh yeah, Sydney comes upon it later and is like, I think it does like a close up
Yes.
on her face maybe, and it
Because
is
eventually
her
they
hair.
realize
Her hair is like,
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
limbs. So it's very visceral. Anyway, I would that visual stuck with me. The garage
It is awful.
surprise kill.
So we have at this moment, while poor Tatum is crushed in the garage door, we have Billy has finally convinced Sydney to have sex with him.
Yes.
He has worn
Which-
her down.
Which now we know she's no longer a
Now she's no longer final girl material.
Mhm.
So they go upstairs. This is Stu's house. So I believe they go into Stu's parents' room, which is weird. But they do that. So downstairs we have Randy, who's still with a group of like 4 kids, and Stu, which we don't know where he went, which I guess he was killing his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sad. I
Yeah.
never thought about that.
You're right. Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe we'd have to rewatch that. But so eventually we
That would
get
make sense.
somebody makes a phone call to the house that Randy picks up, and the principal of their school, played by Henry Winkler, best known as the Fonz in Happy Days. Ghostface has killed the principal, which we did see happen.
Mm-hmm.
And they strung him up by the goalpost on the hockey field. So all these kids, um, besides Randy, are like, let's go see him before they take his body down. So they
Mm-hmm.
book it out of the house, messed up. Now it's just Randy, who's presumably a little drunk, still watching Halloween. Um, oh, we totally forgot to say
We need to talk
when
about
Gail
Gail
came
Weathers'
in.
involvement
Okay.
in this. Gail Weathers is at this party, right? She shows up. Dewey's there.
Gail's trying to convince Sydney the whole time. She's like, I Gail never thought it was Cotton Weary
Yes.
that was guilty.
Yes.
She wrote a whole book about it, which is why Sydney hates her. So she is trying to figure out who is Ghostface to kind of like absolve Cotton Weary.
Okay, that's why she's there. Yeah, she's trying to absolve it. It's part of this, and her whole motivation behind this is the book. Like, can you imagine the book?
The book
Like,
sales.
The
My
book
God.
sales. Yeah. So it's not as, you know, altruistic as it's presented.
Gail's a bitch, but she
Yeah.
knows she's a bitch and she
Yeah.
owns it.
And she owns it.
And she wears the cutest little power suits.
She's so. Did we say already? Played by Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox. And
Courtney
this
Cox.
is where Courtney Cox and David Arquette met and fell in love.
I didn't know that.
And they were married for several years.
Oh
They're
my
since divorced, but
So yeah, so that's why she's there. She's trying to figure out, and she wants to like listen in on the kids, right, and record them.
Mhm.
And so she's there with her like video guy, and she gets in because somehow
Or
I
no,
don't remember.
she goes in with Dewey.
She goes in with Dewey, Tatum's brother, who's the local cop, who hangs out like with these teenagers, like
kind
he's
of.
like presumably like fresh out of high school, like pretty
Yeah.
new.
No, he
New
gets
to the
made fun
force.
of a lot, but they still
Yeah.
seem to let him into these places.
Yeah, he's like the goober older brother.
And they're all drinking, and like
Yeah.
he dropped Tatum and Sydney off at this party.
yes.
So I don't know.
So yeah, he's a conundrum. He's the older brother cop, who has a big crush on Gail Weathers.
Big crush.
In love with her, and he like goes in with her, accompanies her in to check it out, right?
Mhm.
And she's able to leave secretly a video camera, so that sets up that final that final sequence in the house where we get to see as viewers like what's happening in the house, and then there's a delayed viewing that Gail and her video guy get inside the van
Their
outside
spy
of
van?
the house.
Yeah, so she sets up the video camera next to the VHS player. So it's kind of like they're watching the movie and like the movie is watching them kind of.
Yeah.
And in their surveillance van, yeah, they time it because they're parked like out in a field and it's a 30-second delay between what they see and like, or what is happening and what they see is happening, which I feel like tees up like my favorite trope in any horror movie ever, which is we get Randy alone on the couch, drunk. This is towards the very end of the movie, and Randy is played by Jamie Kennedy, who was like kind of famous at the time. He went on to do like the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which was like a kind of like the Ollie G show in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
And he was in Malibu's Most Wanted. Do you remember that
Oh,
movie?
no.
He's like a comedian actor. He was like, I don't know. But his name is Jamie Kennedy, and he is watching Scream, which is starring Jamie Lee Curtis. And so he is watching her like face off with Michael Myers. And he's like, oh, come on, Jamie. Like, this is so stupid. And you see Ghostface coming up behind Jamie Kennedy on the couch. And he's like, Jamie, turn around. Oh my God, Jamie, turn around. And it's like, it's such a like in joke for the audience that like, maybe it's pandery, but I absolutely love this stuff. As I said, I love to get references.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so fun because, yeah, he's getting snuck up on and he's like, oh my God, he's right behind you. Turn around, Jamie. And he's right behind him. Um, Ghostface sneaks up on him. He gets away somehow.
Yeah.
I think we don't see that part, do we?
What
Or
happens?
no,
Does he?
Ghostface is distracted. He looks, and then that's when we cut to the surveillance van
Yes. Yes. Yes.
of
Yes.
the video guy seeing that Ghostface is leaving the house
Mm-hmm.
and being like, what's the delay on this?
Yes.
The delay was 30 seconds. Ghostface is at the surveillance van, gets him. It's so fun. Oh, God. Did you love that as much as I did? Or is it just like such a corny, like,
No, it's not corny only in that the whole point of the movie is the meta
right,
self-referential.
right,
And so it's like so extra fun to just like
right,
double down on the meta-ness. And because Randy, this is like his purpose in the film, I
right.
think. No, I think it's so fun. There's an anticipation for so many different characters.
Hmm.
So there's so much happening, and like the layer of the suspense is really fun. The puzzle of it all,
It's
like
just a
where are they
fun
going to
little
be next?
puzzle.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
think it's awesome. Yeah. It was
yeah, and like
executed
I
well.
love that this is a scary movie about like it's essentially like a scary movie just about scary movies and like a scary movie about being a
Being
scary
in a
movie.
scary movie. Yes.
And you can like totally see the writing, like the writing is transparent in a really great way. And also I feel like something that again is like a really fun tee up for the whole series is all of the movies reference each other backwards. So like this movie, so the book that Gail Weathers writes is called The Woodsboro Murders. Um, and there is a movie in the I forget if it's in the second one or the third one. Um, I think it's in the second one because in the third one they're making, I think, a sequel. But there are movies based off of Gail Weathers' book called the Stab movies. There's like a Stab franchise. So they start with that and then so the Scream 2, they're in college. It's like Sydney's at college with her college friends. And then Scream 3 is the making of one of the Stab movies. So it's
So
like
fun.
we're back in Scream 1. There's like sets that are like Sydney's house and Stu's house, where it's like the final climax happens at Stu's house, and it's like all the same little pieces are there. And then you get to see the characters that are playing all the characters from the original one, and they're talking about like, oh, my inspiration was for Parker Posey is in Scream 3 playing Gail Weathers, and she's like insufferable and like
Uh,
following Courtney Cox around, and Courtney
uh,
Cox is like, get away from me. Like it's so funny. And then Scream 4, which is also written by Kevin Williamson, is maybe my favorite after Scream 1. And that's with a new cast. It has some of the same characters, but it's with younger kids still
mhm.
back in high school. And it's super, super, super meta. It's like about being meta, whereas this one's like about being a horror movie. Um, and somebody is killing people and like filming it and like uploading it onto the internet.
Mm.
And so it like becomes about that, and that one of the climaxes takes place at a Stab marathon. So it's like you get to
Oh.
see part of the Stab movies, and you get to see the like the beginning of this movie with Drew Barrymore, but played by someone
But played by
else.
somebody
And
else.
it's so like wrapped up in a burrito of Scream movies, and it's so like fun to just like know the lore and know all of
Yes.
the characters and all of the pieces, and I know what that is. Um, and there's like funny parts in this one where she's talking about like, ugh, if this was a movie, like I'd probably end up with Tori Spelling playing me. And then I think Tori Spelling does play her.
It's so good. And I think that's why it works so well is because they just go all in and
Hmm.
they just stretch that idea.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so fun. I've
It's
still only seen the first one. And we didn't talk about this already, but I believe the first time I saw this was with you. I think you showed me this when we were living together,
When I forced
which
you
is
to watch it.
another cute reason for us to start the podcast this way. But yeah, knowing all of this like is so fun. Like I do want to like finish like continue on with the series like in
Hmm.
some way
Oh, we've
because
got to.
we've got to now. So we'll have to find ways to fit the other ones into
Oh yeah,
themes as we go along.
different, yeah,
Yeah,
different
excellent.
series.
Yeah.
They're not too scary. I feel like it's like the fun, the fun kind of scary. And like again, Ghostface is very, there's a lot of physical comedy. He falls downstairs all the time.
Yes.
Sydney like karate kicks him more than once. Like he can be overpowered, but he just can't be stopped.
Yeah.
He's too powerful.
Well, like you think about it, they're just these like high school boys.
Little boys.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you do get the iconic after the reveal. So Stu and Billy have decided, oh, they have Sydney's dad tied up in the closet. He's
Yes.
been there the whole time. That's
He's
why
been there the
we've
whole
been
time.
able to get a hold. We
He was at
forgot
the
about him, just like everybody in the movie forgot about him. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, yes, Sydney's dad. Uh, but their plan is to frame him. They're gonna kill Sydney.
Yes.
They're gonna stab each other with like non-mortal stab wounds so that
Yes.
they're like the survivors, but they're still messed up. Billy,
Which is crazy.
which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Billy stabs Stu a little too hard.
Mhm.
Stu is starting to bleed out a little bit, and then he asks Sydney if she's gonna really call the police after she kind of gets the upper hand on them. And then you get the iconic Stu line of, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me, which is, oh, Matthew Lillard. I just love him. But before that, he and Billy are all draped all over each other, like revealing their evil plan
Yes. Yes.
and
Because it's
revealing that they killed Sydney's mom, too.
Mhm. Yes. Terrible. So they're yeah, terrible. They're awful.
So Cotton Weary, yes, Cotton Weary is innocent man. She's sent to
Yes.
jail. They killed Sydney's mom, Maureen Prescott,
Hmm.
because why? Because Billy's dad was having an affair with her, and that is why his parents got divorced.
Which is she's trying to she's like, why did you do this? Like questioning. And Billy goes, oh, you need a motive? You want a motive? Like it can't just be like kind of alluding, but it turns
Mhm.
out, yes, of
Turns out
course.
he did.
The trope
And it
the
seems
trope comes
like
true. He does have a
it seems
motive.
like Stu didn't know about this when he's revealing it. It seems
Mm,
like Stu is like, "Oh, I thought we were just doing this for fun." Like didn't realize that
that
there
Billy
was like
had
actually a reason behind it. But so then we get uh she gets the upper hand because Gail shows up. Gail Weathers shows up with the
Mhm.
gun. Goes to shoot them. The safety's on. Billy gets her, kicks the shit out of her. She goes down on the front porch. Um, and then now Sydney's gone though in that scuffle.
Yes. Hmm.
Sydney's gone with the gun. And then we have who overtakes Stu? Is it Randy? Does Randy come back
Because Randy comes
and smashes him
back.
with the TV?
Yes. Yes.
Smashes his face with the TV, and then we have Gail shoots Billy, says safety wasn't on that time.
Yeah.
They're all happy. It's Sydney, Gail, and Randy, and they're going up to Billy's dead body, and Randy's like, "Be careful. This is always the part in the scary movie when the killer pops back for one last jump scare." Billy pops up. Sydney shoots him in the head. Excellent markswoman. She says, "Not in my movie."
Perfect film.
A perfect film. We have the end credits. There's an ambulance. Dewey is alive. Very
Dewey's fine.
crucial.
Yes.
So yeah, our survivors are Dewey, Sydney,
Sydney.
Gail, and
Gail.
Randy.
Hmm.
And I think that's it.
The dad.
and the dad.
I
I
don't know if he
forgot about
carries
again.
on. I don't know if he carries on. Randy, yeah. Oh, it's
And then
fun.
they're all in Scream 2. Like it
Oh,
just it keeps going. It's so a perfect film.
oh, I love it.
I'm trying to see if I have any other notes.
Oh, I had a few more notes just on the Basic Instinct reference.
Yes, please.
And yeah, so as we said already, we've already watched Basic Instinct. What in Mommy? No.
No,
What was
that
the
was
theme?
in Basic Instinct was in Inappropriate Workplace Relationships.
Of course, yes. Right. Inappropriate workplace relationships. Which hilarious. Hilarious because I think Sarah Marshall says it best in her podcast. Like it's so funny because of what the movie thinks it's doing.
Yes.
Like it's not actually doing, and that's what makes it so
Mm-hmm.
fun. Anyway, we loved it. But we were ecstatic when there's a reference made. Tatum, the boys, and Sydney's there too. They're all lazing about, talking about like, ooh, who could it be? Who's the killer? And the boys are so adamant. Well, it's obviously a man. And she goes, the killer could easily be female. Basic Instinct in her most like
Ugh,
most bitchy voice.
her
Basic
bitchiest
Instinct.
voice. Oh my God. We
It's so
squealed.
good. Great
Perfect.
reference. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Rose McGowan playing Tatum, referencing back. I'm just thinking of our cinematic universe so far to
Yes.
Jawbreaker, which we've watched recently.
hmm
Um, and
Which we
then,
also had that character, that really bitchy throwaway character in this movie in the bathroom. Remember, she is talking about Sydney. Sydney's in the
mhm,
stall and she doesn't know it. And she's talking to her friend. And we were like, this was the template that Rose McGowan used for her character in Jawbreaker because it's like, gag me with a spoon. It's like so exactly her character. And
mhm,
Jawbreaker came out after Scream.
yep,
So
99. Mm-hmm.
she just saw this performance and was like, this is it.
This is it.
Channeling this energy.
Absolutely. Were there any other references or Easter eggs that we haven't
Let's
talked
see.
to? I did. I'm thinking of one in this may be the most obvious one, but I do think it's fun that the janitor, there's a scene where the principal like mentions
Uh-huh.
something to the janitor in the hall, and his name is Fred, and he
Fred
literally is like has like a costume like
in
Freddy
the Freddy
Krueger.
Krueger costume.
But I looked it up. That's Wes Craven.
hmm
That's so
Oh, that
fun.
is him?
That's Wes Craven dressed up as the Fred the janitor.
I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Because this movie, I don't even know if I said it, but this movie is directed by Wes Craven too.
Yes.
So of course he loves the Nightmare on Elm Street references, but also another teeny tiny Easter egg, in maybe the second scene we see Tatum, because she has a couple of outfit changes, but it's the one where, yeah, it's curfew. Um, and so Stu's trying to convince them to come to a party at his house.
Hmm.
And she's wearing, I believe, like like red pleather pants, and then she's wearing like a little jersey, like a football jersey, and it's the same number, which I think is 10. Um, as that is a callback to Johnny Depp's crop top jersey in Nightmare on Elm Street, that is also number 10. So it's
Oh.
just like, which it's like so fun that it's like, you know that it's so on purpose. Like,
Yes.
I feel like that is what makes it fun, is it's not just like, oh, we're paying homage to these movies. It's like,
Hmm.
no, we're making like a fun little, it's
Yes.
like a fun little like what are those called at Christmas? You open them, a
Oh,
calendar.
an advent
It's like a
calendar.
little advent
Yeah.
calendar, I feel like, of horror movies. It's like, oh, I know
Yeah.
what that is. It's like, it's just so much fun and not too scary, but just a little scary. And Nev Campbell, a final girl that's not a virgin. You love to see it.
We love to see it.
She's shattering glass ceilings. She also can like defend herself really well.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second movie, it's like I feel like it starts with somebody calling her and doing the like, is this Sydney? Like, what's your favorite scary movie? Like, who do you think this is? And she like picks up to her little caller ID box that she has gotten since the first movie. And she's like, is this like Jerry Jones? What like 801-555? And he like, oh shit, like hangs up. So it's like she's smart and she's adapting and she gets like a gun at some point.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
she's not just like letting this happen to her, but it's like the people. And then part of what's fun is like this becomes like the lore of the Woodsboro murders. So then it's like inspiring. It like snowballs and keeps inspiring people to like want to, like new people to want to kill her just because they're like fans of like the book and the movie and
Yeah.
like it's just like it just keeps like becoming a new thing for a new generation with like every movie. So it's very fun.
Ah, I love it.
And
I
the
love it.
Bobs are fantastic. We do have a really fabulous Gale Weathers haircut in, I believe, Scream 2. Let me just pull it up for you. Oh, it's Scream 3.
Mm.
I'm gonna die. It's not a bob. It's not a bob, but get a load of these
Oh,
bangs.
it's the bangs though.
So maybe we're gonna have to.
We're
That's
gonna
like
have
a,
to do.
that's like a micro baby bang.
That's a micro fringe if I've ever seen one. Yeah, we're gonna have to go cut our own fringes during that one probably. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, cute.
uh,
We could just, yeah, do it while we're recording.
yeah. Just chop through a wig.
It doesn't matter. Just let it go. Okay, now what? Is
Now,
that it? Is that all you can think of? Is that all I can think
I
of?
that's all I have about this movie.
Okay, so do
Um,
you agree that if every movie is Challengers or Basic Instinct or Little Women,
this is
this is
Challengers.
Challengers?
This is absolutely Challengers. Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like when boys love each other so much, at some point it just becomes Challengers.
It just becomes Challengers.
There's nothing they can do about it. I was thinking about it. I was like, as I was thinking about the categories, I was like trying to think of other movies to like, and I think it works. Like Fast and the Furious, also Challengers.
Can you give an example of a movie that fits into the other two
Yeah.
categories?
So let's do like, I feel like maybe Saving Private Ryan is Little Women.
I haven't seen Saving
Okay.
Saving Private
Let's
Ryan.
think of, let
Private Ryan.
me go through our list. Grey Gardens, I would say is Little Women.
I would say that's Little Women. Absolutely, that's Little Women.
Thelma and Louise, I would also say is Little Women.
Hmm.
Um, My Old Ass. Little Women?
That's Little Women.
Are they just all Little Women? Suspiria.
Basic Instinct? Is
Basic
that?
or Little Women.
It could be, yeah, or it could be Little Women. Because the criteria being
So
part of
maybe
it is
we need a fourth
essence.
one because I just got to Palm Springs and I don't know if that fits. Before Sunrise, I would say is Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
To Die For, Basic Instinct.
Is Basic Instinct.
Y Tu Mama Tambien, Challengers.
That's Challengers. That's an obvious Challengers, yeah.
Obvious. Almost Famous, I would say is Basic Instinct. Saltburn, Challengers.
Challengers.
Maybe we need a fourth one that's like, because I feel like Little Women is like, why would a man be there kind of thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like Challengers is like so much, it's like so much boy energy, but like not in a vacuum, because then I feel like that becomes Little Women. It's like, I think it's so much boy energy, but like with a catalyst
With the
of
catalyst,
something
yes.
else that makes them like kind of compete with each other.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So like the Fast and the Furious, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker like love each other so much. Like it's like a love story. But
Yes.
then like Paul Walker is a cop and like
Yes.
Vin Diesel is so it's like they can't be together.
They can't be together.
And then Basic Instinct I feel like is like a woman ruining a man's life.
You have woman ruining some. Yeah. It's a
Or like a man letting a woman like
a
take
man in fear of a woman.
yeah.
Uh, by panic.
By Panic, yes.
Yeah, all of the things. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there's a few. I honestly feel like it could hold true. We'd need to go through all of it. This is amazing, though. I love it. To be continued on
To be continued. So
us
yeah, do we
categorizing.
discuss what our second film is in this one?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. I think let's discuss what our second film is. We'll not discuss like a theme
a
yet.
theme?
Let's just reveal. Yeah, we can just talk about what the next movie is, which has already been chosen. We chose Clute. I think it's 1970s movie. Yeah, 1971. Starring Jane Fonda. So that's up next. I think there's a through line between Scream
Definitely.
and Clute. And excited to see if there's a Bob.
Ooh,
Excited to
can't
see
wait.
excited to see what this movie has in store for us. So we haven't watched it yet. That'll be next. And then we will record our thoughts.
Catch us next week
Catch us next week. Catch us next time.
on What About Bob? Is our sign off 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Bye.